Here, bringing to you a different kind of review today. Today, we're going to be doing a beer review. That's right, a beer review. Now, this is a very special beer. This is from Scuttlebutt Brewing Company. I'm going to show this here. Maybe it'll autofocus. Maybe it won't. Who knows? But it looks pretty nice there. This is called Night Circus. It's a coconut coffee ale. Now, first off, I got to say this is a local brewing company out of Everett, Washington. Very local. They even have their own restaurant, which makes terrific food. So I'm sure they have the right kind of meal to go with this beer. Now, that being said, I'm going to read to you exactly what this says here for it. It says, a creamy dream of coconut notes perfectly paired with a contrast of a coffee blend. A great drink to enjoy in the moonlight. So, that's exactly what we're going to do here. And this is family owned and operated for 20 years. So that's about Scuttlebutt there. And of course, Scuttlebutt is also, for those of you who don't know, a word kind of used in the military of what's the scuttlebutt, like what's the news, what's going on, you know, over at the old drinking fountain type of thing. So with that being said, we're going to crack this open in a second. But first, I want to introduce you to somebody else who's going to be doing the review along with me. It's going to be like a back and forth review thing, but his name is Matt. And Matt is a gentleman that I've known for 2 years. We work together. And here he is right now.
Hey, what's going on, you guys? So I'm Matt. I'm the other half there that Mr. Ken was talking about here. I'm the gentleman that actually got directly from the brewmaster of Scuttlebutt Brewing some of these samples that we're going to try out here. So pretty exciting stuff. So this one here is the Night Circus, of course, the coconut coffee ale. I'm really intrigued to try this one here. As far as the bottle itself, you know, I'm sure Ken already talked about that, gave you a pretty good idea of what that looks like. But really fantastic artwork here, and it's kind of like an artisan style, but kind of simplified at the same time. Very straightforward. Shows right on here, you know, family owned and operated for 20 years. Proud to be in Washington here in a local brewery. And looks like it's a pretty nice hard hitting ale here at 7.1%. So the fact that it's an ale, it's right up my alley. The fact that it's a coconut coffee ale, super intrigued by that. And yeah, 12 IBU. So what that tells me is it's not bitter at all, but probably really flavorful and really smooth, and also with a really nice effect. So can't wait to give it a shot here. Kind of excited.
All right, and that was Matt. Give him a round of applause, everybody. Seriously though, that was Matt. Matt's a really cool dude. Love him. Great friend. But let's move on. We're going to go ahead and crack open this beer here. We're going to pour it into a red Solo cup because one, YouTube has this thing about watching people drink, or anything else for that matter. And the other is, I'm sharing one can of beer with Matt here. So I'm going to be pouring it into 2 separate Solo cups, or maybe I'll just give him one, I'll drink out of a can. That might be better. I might drink out of a can here, folks. So here we go. It's a very nice dark amber color. Almost a coffee, yeah. Almost a coffee color. Almost. It's got a very good head on it though. Started to leak a bit, unfortunately, but yeah, there we go. Let's see if I can do this here. Look at that. Oh, yes, indeed. See if we can get a good little foamy action there. There it is. Look at that. Good, thick foam. My God. My golly, my gosh. My Lord. All right, so once again, to remind you, a creamy dream of coconut notes perfectly paired with a contrast of a coffee blend. Night Circus Coconut Coffee Ale. I'm kind of excited for this. So, yeah. Ooh. Let's give it a sniff first.
Yeah, it smells like beer. Yeah, that smells like beer. I'm not going to drink it with my nose, I just want to smell
it. Does almost have like a stout smell to it, like a thicker. And I think the reason why it's going to smell thicker or like a stout mainly is because it is a coffee blend with a coconut. Coffee is usually a thicker drink. So let's go ahead. I'm going to have a stash here. Oh. Ooh, that's good. Okay, first impression, obviously, really good. It's tasty. It's not too sharp. It's not too bland. It's very, very smooth when drinking here. And let me see here. Let me do some pinky up style stuff here with the solo cup. I have no idea why people do that. To be honest, I've heard it's to aerate and let it breathe and whatnot, but I'll tell you this much. This is very smooth. It does have the ale taste, but the ale taste is also very well evened out by the coffee notes. As far as the coconut goes, I'm not sure if because it's cold that I'm not getting much of a coconut note. I am getting more of a stronger ale and coffee though. Okay, there it is. Right at the back end. Right at the back end is where you get that coconut flavor. And this is really good. I mean, this would go well with like a burger, a steak. Not so much fish. I don't think it would go well with fish, but it is delicious. Now, the alcohol content of this is 7.1% by volume. So this whole can is 7.1. So by putting it in half, basically I'm only going to be looking at about 3.5, maybe 3.6. But it's really good. It's tasty. It's creamy. There we go. You get 2 burps right out of the way there. But has a great smell. Really good taste. And I think this would go paired really well with like some steak and mashed potatoes. Not fish though. It's a little too heavy for fish. But oh yeah. It's a really, really good smooth beer. I'm going to have to get some of this for myself here again because I'm liking this. This is the type that is so good and so smooth, you don't really feel like you're drinking a beer. It's almost like a cold brew with ale. It's if that makes sense, which I don't know if it does, but let's put it this way. It's cold. It has a coffee flavor. It also has the beer flavor. But it's not too heavy on the beer where you want to stop drinking. Like I said, it's very, very smooth. So you could down this pretty fast. Oh, yeah. This is... Okay. I've said it's good enough times, so you know what I'm going to do. The color, it's a nice, dark amber, almost dark brown. The foam on it is great. And I'm going to give this over to Matt now. Then once Matt's done drinking and talking about it, we're going to sit down and talk about it together. Skadoosh.
All right, so here we go. Moment of truth. Time to try the coconut coffee ale out. Here we go. All right, so first impressions here. Ooh, definitely got a nice little headiness to it there, it looks like. Ooh, okay. So we have almost like a... Ooh, interesting. Almost like a brownie kind of smell that I'm getting off of it. Almost like a chocolate and toffee kind of notes. Definitely has a great smell for sure. And definitely, yeah, a bit more on the chocolatey notes of the smell I'm getting for sure. All right, time for the taste test here. Ooh, interesting. All right. You can really taste the coffee. The coffee comes out immediately. It's like a very prominent coffee note, but it's made smoother by the ale note as well. So it's not like a black coffee note would be, to where it's like, very intensely coffee bean and very crisp and sharp with a dry finish. This one definitely has a smoother, kind of more well-rounded coffee flavor to it, almost kind of like a caramel latte would. Only it definitely has more chocolatey notes, I would say, to it for sure. Almost kind of like if you were to blend coffee with a chocolate ale. Wow. Yeah, very smooth. Very smooth. I mean, almost at the level of like a chocolate flavored cold brew. And it really doesn't feel too heavy. I got to say it. You know, it's got a deep, dark color tone to it. It doesn't have a really heavy flavor though. I'm kind of surprised. It is definitely like not too heavy of an ale. Definitely doesn't feel anywhere near like a porter or a stout. Some ales I've noticed do get a bit heavier and thicker and deeper and darker. This one looks deeper and darker, tastes deeper, but doesn't feel as heavy. And what's interesting to me is as I continue to drink it down, the coffee becomes a little less prominent, and like the chocolatey ale with a hint of coffee note really becomes the underlying flavor. It really becomes the foundation of the flavor. So it's kind of intriguing how the coffee just boom bursts it right out at you. But then the more you drink it, the smoother and smoother it gets, and kind of the more well-rounded that flavor gets, and that coffee note really kind of gets toned down a little bit and smoothed out. I like it. I like it a lot.
All right, see the ghost. It's recording. This is gonna be like sitting cross-legged for me. Oh, shit. There it goes. All right, so we are here talking together. Now, neither of us knew what each other said when it comes to the review.
Complete mystery.
Complete mystery. And the reason being for that is because I kind of wanted to see like what both of us thought about it independently, to where we didn't influence one another.
True enough.
So it's going to be a recap really quick here, but what did you think about it? Did you, like, what was your first impression?
First impression, I liked it a lot. It reminded me immediately of coffee though, like immediately like drinking a latte. I didn't get any coconut notes off it. I got immediate coffee, boom, right in the face. Oh, hello, coffee.
All right, see, that's what I said too. Like, you know, a lot of coffee, but towards the end, like I took another sip. I'm like, okay, swishing around in my mouth, doing that whole like, you know, wine tasting
Right,
thing.
gots to.
That's when I got a little hint of coconut, but not much. It felt like, basically the way I put it was a ale flavored coffee.
Yeah.
Like if you got cold brew.
Yes, oh.
And then like you
Nice.
had a little bit of ale in there, but like it was so smooth
Yeah.
that it will sneak up on you and you could drink multiples of them
Oh yeah.
without feeling like anything at first.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it's dangerously smooth. And for me, it was definitely like a coffee ale, and then it became like a little bit of an ale with a really nice coffee note, but it was so smooth and so rich in the flavor that I could
yeah.
easily see myself taking down 2, 3, 4 of those, no problem.
Now I said that I thought it would go good with like foods like steak and burgers, you know, all the red meats. Not so much fish though. I didn't even mention chicken because I didn't think chicken with this. Like the lighter meats like pork, chicken, fish, I don't think would go good with this. It wouldn't pair well, but definitely like a good porterhouse steak or
Oh yeah.
you know burgers or maybe some surf and turf.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, I think it could work, you know, depending on the style of it. Yeah. Which is probably a good thing that you did, because I actually said nothing at all about food pairings. Yeah,
okay.
didn't make one mention at all.
Yeah, well, that works. Yeah. All right, so do you want to do like a rating of like 0 to 10 or 1 to 10 or?
Yeah, I like that. I think a 1 to 10 rating works. And then, should we do half points though? Like it could be an 8.5, or is it just a solid number?
No, we can do it. We can do half points.
Okay.
But if you do a half point, you got to explain why.
Agreed. Yeah, has to be a good reason.
So should we do like a multiple like color, taste, smoothness, or should we just give it an overall rating?
Ooh, okay. How about 3 categories to individually rate, and then an overall rating? So like almost like an average of those 3 categories, but then we can kind of make it up as we go along. So like rate the flavor, rate the smell and the other characteristics of it that are not the flavor, but like the look, the smell, you know what I mean, the appeal, and then also the effect or the overall smoothness maybe, and then your overall impression of the beer. Or is that too complicated? Maybe we could do an A, B, C, D rating for those.
Well, I mean, if we rate it from like, so if we rate it from 1 to 10 on each of those categories,
Yeah.
we would just add that up at the end, and that would be our full official rating.
That would be more official. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we wouldn't have to wing it at that point. We do have math.
That's math.
We can calculate with numbers and such.
Math exists for a reason, kids. And by kids, I mean adults of the age of 21 or over, because this is beer.
Childish acting adults. We're
Yes.
talking to you.
Yes,
We are among
indeed.
them.
We love the alcohol. It's good.
It's so good.
It's good. It's good. All right, so you want to start off on appearance first? Like, with appearance, are we doing like just the color of the liquid, or are we also doing appearance of the can itself?
I think all of the above. I think it's got to be appearance when it comes to the can, appearance when it comes to the head and the color tone of it, the richness of the color of the actual beer.
Well, to be fair, you didn't get to see the head.
That's true. I got a little bit. I got a.
It's always
Yeah.
good to get a little head.
Yeah.
But Sorry, boss. But here's the thing. I did tilt the camera down to show the head. I would give it a really good rating for the head. It's nice, thick, foamy.
Yeah.
With the mustache, you definitely get a little bit of foam stash.
The foam stash is key, though. Yeah.
I mean, so with the color, the foam, and the design of the can, which I was actually really impressed with as far as like, you know, it's not too far out there, but it was nice with the description of the flavor and how they put the stars on there to kind of mimic that.
Yeah.
I'd give it a good 8 out of 10.
For sure, yeah. I was gonna go 9, honestly. Yeah, because I didn't get a huge, good representation of that head of the beer, but what I did get was kind of the remnants of it, and I could see that really nice, like, color tone that it had, and that really nice offset to the actual deep, dark amber color.
See, the reason why I'm giving it an 8 out of 10 is because it didn't have the name along with the graphics on the front, so it had like a on the back. So that's my only gripe. My only gripe, really. So that's why it gets -2.
Totally, yeah. And see, I really like the artwork of the can so much that I think that kind of superseded the lack of like really clear indication, exactly the name, exactly the style, exactly the rating.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so going on to flavor?
Yeah, let's go flavor.
Flavor?
Yeah.
All right. So I've had many coffee-based stouts. I've never had a coffee-based ale.
Yeah, me neither.
And especially a coconut coffee-based ale. But what I will say is, I mean, as far as ratings go, 1 out of 10, I'm still going to give it an 8, mainly because I wanted to have more of the coconut flavor in there, but it was overshadowed by the coffee and the ale itself. But still, taste, phenomenal.
Yeah, no, I got to agree, and I would say for me the rating would probably be like an 8.5. It almost reaches that 9, really close. But the reason I'm giving it a 0.5, just slightly over that 8, is because I've had a lot of ales, and a lot of them are only able to stand out for like little nuanced differences, you know. But there's really, in the category of an amber ale or a blonde ale, there's not generally a lot of differences that I've experienced. This one, very different for me. Very multi-layered in the flavor, had a lot of depth to it, and that's something that I've, you know, rarely experienced. Like for me, the style of ale that gets a 10 out of 10 would be like the German chocolate cake ale, another style that we carry.
That we're going to be reviewing also.
Yes, you know it. But this one here, I would say, while it was really close to that good and it had that complexity to it, I didn't really notice that standout coconut note. I think it just maybe added a little sweeter overtone to it in the overall flavor.
Yeah, quite possible.
So I would have liked a little bit more of the coconut richness in there too, to see how that mixed in. But overall, damn good.
Damn good.
Yeah.
Is there anything else we really need to rate it on other than looks and flavor? Because I mean, that's the important part there.
Good question. Yeah, I would say, you know, maybe the smell of it. What do you think about the smell of it?
It smelled like beer.
Smelled like beer?
Smelled like beer.
Yeah. See, to me, I got a really strong, like, chocolatey note from it. It almost, like, the first impression smelled like a brownie.
Really?
So, yeah, I was quite kind of taken back by that, but in a good way. So I would say if we were to do a category for the smell, and I think we could probably just add that into a subcategory of, like, the overall smell, look, texture, all that, and then give it an overall rating. But I would say it was probably, like, a solid 7 or 8 out of 10 on that one.
All right. Well, something we can talk about, think about, do about in the future.
What you thinking about that?
I'm thinking I want another one.
I second that.
Yep. So hopefully this is one that we're going to be bringing in soon.
I think so. I think it's definitely worthwhile, and I'm definitely interested in bringing it in for sure. I think it's worthy of the craft quality that we're known for and trying to make a name for ourselves in that.
It's a good change from the normal when it comes to ales. Now, I mean, you got your light ales, you got your blonde ales, you got your brown ales.
Exactly, yeah.
And this, to me, was very, very, very similar to a stout.
Right.
Which is, I'm a big stout guy. I love stouts. And that's what impressed me the most, was that it was a stout imposter.
Yes, as deep and rich and bold as a stout, but not as heavy. And that was one of the things that I commented on too that I thought was really prominent about it, was how flavorful and deep and rich it was, but not too heavy.
Yeah.
Definitely nailed.
Really good.
Super good.
Super.
Highly recommended, I would say.
Yes. All right, so I think that about wraps it up here for the day.
I think so.
All right, so I want to thank you very much for watching. As always, I'm Ken.
And I'm Matt.
And you're beautiful. And until next time, vape, drink, CBD on.
Live.
Does that work? Live on?
Yes.
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 Or we'll see you later.
Live and thrive on, and we'll see you later.
Peace.
All right. Peace be with you. The force is strong in all of us.
Yes. May the force be with you.
May the force be with all of us.
Ah, yes.
Yes. And this beer. Yeah.
Beer is good.
May the force carry you to us so that we can provide you with this beer.
We'll use one of these for an outro.
It could happen.
Beer.
It's what's for dinner.
Oh, there we go.
thumbs up. That's a good video, you guys.